the Citizens Communications Council of Radnor Township. And our first agenda item are announcements. I don't have any announcements other than we had a resignation of one of our colleagues, whose name slips me. Dennis McCormick, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, he sent me an email and said he was time limited and couldn't continue in his role. So I think that leaves us with 2 vacancies, which I understand the township is aware of, and we'd be happy to talk with anybody who'd like to serve as a commissioner on this council. The second item is a report from Radnor Studio 21. General Manager George Strimmel is with us. George?
Well, as I indicated earlier, we have received the 2 cameras. They're both up and running that Comcast we talked about over these many months, and everything is up and running, in addition to which we have been donated a large amount of lighting equipment, so we have relit the production area, and so we are ready for all comers, and they're coming with regularity. It is election time, and it is a very, very busy time for us, and there will be coming up tomorrow congressional candidates and other candidates coming in, and we welcome any and all. We are open to any that are obviously on the ballot in our coverage area, and we look forward to a very busy time. In the meanwhile, we have produced programs with the library, with the senior center, with everything. It's fall, and more people, suddenly there's this activity, and we couldn't be happier about that activity. So that basically is a very quick synopsis of what we are doing, and as a matter of fact, shortly I may have to leave early because I have a production going on at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay, it sounds like things are going well at Radnor Studio 21.
In fact, they're going extremely well. We are living up to our mission, and I could not be more pleased.
Oh, I'm delighted to hear that. Are there any questions for George on Studio 20? Good evening, Steve. Good evening. Okay, thank you very much, George.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
The report from Comcast, and I don't think we have a representative of Comcast. I will comment later on the status of our negotiations with Comcast on it. Or no, you may.
Okay. Just quickly, per Comcast, I received a copy of an email inquiry that had been sent to the township about the audio levels. And so I contacted Kevin Broadhurst, and he got back to me, and they went into they did a search. They thought maybe it was local. They found it was a head-end problem. They have moved to fix that head-end problem, and reports I am getting is that it indeed has been fixed. Now, this was not a universal problem. This was a problem that was sporadic within the township. Some people were getting a low audio on Channel 21. In my own home, where I happen to be a Comcast subscriber, and also a Verizon subscriber, so just to let you know, I'm being totally bipartisan here. Under any circumstances, I was having no problem with the audio, and but some places were, and so they did a check on it, and the reports I got back as late as today were that it seems to have been adjusted, but I inserted my own contacts into that, and it worked.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
I had one question. When you do the political broadcasts,
Yes.
Am I correct that the candidates are likely to take a tape for showing in other places? In Delaware County or wherever they're running?
We do not prevent them from doing so. Especially if someone comes in from the political party, our rule is that the people who produce the program own the program. It isn't us that own the program.
Do we charge them for the production cost?
No.
A reasonable charge that would be related to your
No,
costs?
it has been conveyed to me from day one that we don't charge anybody anything for tape or for cameras. That may have to change in the reality of the world we now live in. But
That's
we
what I
do
was
not-
thinking of, that
Yes.
it might be wise for you to take up with your board.
It is not our board's issue. It is this board's issue and the township's issue that said you cannot charge membership, you cannot charge for rental, you cannot charge for time. That was conveyed to me from day one, now over, coming up on
Okay.
10 years.
So
of it.
maybe this board needs to take a look at that issue. It seems to me that a reasonable charge for production costs, if you weren't there, they would have to go to some commercial production studio
Correct.
to do a tape.
Well, but we are also more than the production studio, because obviously the people who are already in office get that as part of their being in office. It's a question of membership,
But when we get into the election season,
which we are in.
which we are in, it would seem to me that it might very well be appropriate for you to, I'm not talking about some exorbitant or prohibitive
No.
charge, I'm talking about you recovering your
People
costs
who want
of production.
People who want a copy do pay a DVD copy, and we now are in the position of burning a copy of the DVD they make as they make it, so they can leave with it in hand. And it has been our policy to charge for that, but we do not charge for the actual production.
Okay. If I may make a suggestion, it would seem to me that if this is an issue that has some value, the board of Radnor Studio 21 should review it as a matter of policy, and if and when they feel they need an approval from us, then they should submit a
I will
recommendation.
pass that on to the board.
Because I don't think it's our duty to do that
But if
first.
finally, we don't get to decide, because.
Well, fine, we understand
The
that.
township has decided
Yeah.
that we are the people who do this.
Yeah, and you have to look at the order of magnitude. If it's not a sufficient amount of money, then it
It's
doesn't
not.
make sense to start, the Haza ride. And
Most places, not most, but many places similar, charge membership fees. It could be $25, could be $100, whatever that is, and then you get to, enter in. But we have kept our speed bump negligible. We want more people to use us, not less, and we want to keep people coming. We don't want any reason for them not to.
Okay, good. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
I see that we've been graced with the lovely lady from Comcast. Kate, how are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Thank you for coming.
Well, sorry I was late.
Not to worry.
Okay. Well, I know that you've been in correspondence with Kevin over the summer regarding the franchise agreement.
Right.
And I really only have two little updates. One, that we are offering NFL Red Zone as a free preview from September 13th through Friday, September 24th. That's the NFL Network sister channel that shows all of the action going on in the Red Zone. And also, we have launched Comcast for You, which is a way that Comcast customers can use their mobile phones to contact us, whether it's for channel listings, a customer service issue, if they want to know where the nearest payment center is. So that's a rather neat service that just launched at the end of August.
Do you prohibit them from doing that while they're driving, or is it none of your business?
We should. But that's really all I have. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
No, I'll comment later on my discussions with Kevin Broadhurst.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Verizon, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Josh Dillon. I've been here before, but it's been quite some time. It's good to be here again. I think the last time I actually attended one of these meetings was in April, but I've been providing written reports when there's information to be reported on and shared with this Commission. It's been a fairly quiet summer. So far, no complaints that I'm aware of, or no complaints that have come in through the Township itself. We continue to meet our customer service standards outlined in the franchise agreement. The only real updates, one is on a housekeeping item. My contact information has changed. We had moved offices I'm still located in Chicago, but I'll make sure that you get the email remains the same, but my phone number and my address have changed. I'll make sure I get that over to you as soon as possible.
Are you now at Oak Brook?
No,
No.
that was where we moved
So
from.
this is the old,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
they're just shifting us around. The other updates on the product side, recently we removed some channels from our channel lineup, provided the township with a heads up. This was a provider change. It was the Urge music channels that we had removed from our channel lineup, and customers were notified either through email or there was also a message in the message center letting them know that those channels are no longer part of their channel lineup. And lastly, this afternoon I had an opportunity to sit down with your new township manager, introduce myself, had an opportunity to walk him through and explain the status of where we are with all the items in the franchise agreement, answered any questions he had, hopefully reassured him that we are in full compliance, we are up to date, we are meeting all the commitments in our franchise agreement. Any questions?
Good. Any questions? Good. Okay, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Under old business, I understand, or in fact, last night the Board of Commissioners had a subcommittee reviewing the ordinance on the cell phone issue that we worked on. And my understanding, if I understood what happened, that's going to go back to the Planning Committee one more time. And that's where it is. As far as I can see, we have no further obligation unless we're asked to look at it again. Is that fair comment? Okay. And old business is Comcast negotiations is always old business. And we've been talking with Comcast for a long time. We're very close on virtually all the material issues save one, which is the support of the PEG channels, and we will be getting together as our subcommittee to review our position. And I spoke with Broadhurst today and told him that after we've come to a conclusion of where we are on that issue, that we should have one more meeting with them to see where it goes. They've taken an initial position that are asking for 3% of their gross revenues is something they can't see their way clear to accommodate. So with that in mind, we'll review alternatives and continue the discussions. In the meantime, we plan to meet with the township manager to keep him apprised of where we are in the Comcast contract negotiations. Are there any comments or questions on that subject? Okay. Public participation? I don't see any public to participate, so we're okay there. If there's no other items, move to adjourn. Steve, do you have anything?
No, sir. There's been no applications for cellular installations. Our T-Mobile installation alongside the building here is still in progress. I believe they will be transmitting soon. And like I say, there's been no applications received for sites or pole top units or anything such as the like.
Okay, so, and were you aware of the discussion of the ordinance last night at the commissioners meeting?
Yes, it was discussed. There were some points that they went with back and forth with Mr. Rice about, and where it ended up was the commissioners voted to send it back to the Planning Commission for their comments, and their comments will then be received back to the Board of Commissioners, and then the board will make their decision at a subsequent meeting after that.
So I did hear that correctly.
That is
Okay.
correct, yes.
Okay. Okay, move to adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? Hang around.